Welcome to another Sober Coaching Live with me. I'm Aaron, the Sober Life Coach. I'm a coach, author, and I've been 7 years sober. Actually, today is the anniversary date of my sobriety. It was July 18th, 2018, when I actually was able to make this change for good. And, I never look back. So I did this without AA rehab, those or other, traditional recovery options. I had to create my own path, and I don't want you guys piecing together your own path. I don't want you guys to be lost in that whole process, like I was in the very beginning. So I kind of put together a path, a way you guys can change, and it was all about taking personal development and my alcohol-free lifestyle, mixing those together and making a permanent change for myself through identity and through all these great things we're going to talk about. So we're in the Willpower series, and we talked about willpower and how what it is and what it isn't, and how it's not a good strategy to have just willpower. We're going into the weekend now, and just having willpower to get through the weekend, white-knuckling it, those kinds of things, that can maybe get you through a few weekends, but that's not going to get you through long term. That's not going to be able to, you're not going to be able to change at a permanent level for long lasting alcohol free life or sobriety if you're just using willpower. So have you ever wondered why it's easy to say no at 9 a.m. but impossible at 9 p.m.? Well, willpower is a limited resource. We talked about that in that first video in this series, right? It's like a battery. It's not an unlimited muscle, right? It's like a battery that gets drained over time, and decision fatigue drains it, right? So you got work stress, you got parenting, you got actual stress in your life, you got social pressure, all these things. You're making decisions. If you're a high performing entrepreneur like I am, you're making decisions all the time, and your willpower is going to get depleted over the time, over the day. And sometimes that's why you say in the morning, I'm not going to drink. Maybe it's because you feel bad, or maybe it's just because you have a lot of willpower in the morning, right? You say, I'm not going to drink today. I've had enough of it. You start feeling a little better by 5 p.m. and then you're like back to the drinking, into that drinking cycle and that loop. And that's definitely where I was for a long time too. I was there for 18 years. I would say in the morning, I'm not going to drink anymore. And by the time all the stress happened, by the time the whole day was done, I got home. I didn't have a plan in place. I didn't have, a proper sober identity to fall back on, and I was just going back into that cycle, that loop. So definitely something that we should be aware of. This willpower is a limited resource. It's like a battery, and it gets drained. So if you rely on only willpower, your morning you have strong decisions, like I said. In the evening you get emotional, you go on autopilot, and that's not weakness. It's just science, right? Your brain gets depleted. Your brain gets depleted of this resource of willpower, and the chemicals in your brain are depleted as well. And you're looking for a solution to your problems, and you're probably more stressed out by the end of the day as well. You're probably more looking for reward, maybe whatever that solution alcohol has become in your life. That's when willpower is not going to work for you, because you have this finite resource that you've used all day with the decision fatigue and all these things, and then you go on autopilot and you continue to drink. And that's not weakness. That's not you being weak. That's not you anything that's bad with you. It's just science. That's how your brain works. So we can understand that willpower is a finite resource. If you get anything out of this, then I really want you guys to understand it's like a battery, right? So if your willpower is drained by the end of the day, just having willpower as a plan is not really actually a plan that's going to work. And I know for a fact, because 18 years ago willpower failed me too, right? And the shift is one sentence, that I don't drink anymore, and that's not me. And I changed it at an identity level, and that's why habits beat willpower, right? Habits and the things you put in place and the plans you put in place after work, whenever you have this craving or this urge to drink, if you put things in place, and you can have a plan and the strategy and someone to guide you to do that, that's where you're going to have real change, right? That's where you're going to be able to change all your life for good. So I know this from experience. I've been where you are, and let me be your guide to guide you through this. So habits don't drain your energy. Identity-based habits lock in automatically, right? You don't need willpower to brush your teeth. It's just automatic. So these automatic habits that we put in our lives over time, they're going to be the ones that build their lives up. So what kind of automatic habits do you have, right? Do you automatically just get a drink when you're stressed? Do you automatically just walk to the fridge and get a beer? Do you automatically just pour the wine? What are these autopilot things that you're doing? Because those are all habits that you've ingrained in yourself, and alcohol has become the solution to your problems. So every time you have a stress, well, your habits are just going to go into that place. If you can put a better habit in place, when I get stressed, maybe I meditate. When I get stressed, I go for a walk. When I get stressed, I do this. And then that's where these things are going to start rolling and snowballing in your favor. And that's kind of just science. And if you want to read a good book on that, that's Atomic Habits Habits is one of the greatest books on habits I've ever read. And it changed my life because it made me realize that these tiny little habits that we have, that's how you get to where you want to go. The systems in place. Having goals is great. Having a sobriety goal or whatever, that's awesome. But if you have a system in place to reach that goal, that's where things are going to change. It's like if you go and start a workout routine, you just start exercising randomly. You don't work on your diet. You don't have a system in place to do extra workouts. You don't not track them. You don't track your workouts. You don't track how you progress. You don't track any of that stuff. You're just going to end up quitting because you don't see the progress. You don't understand how far you've come. All these things, right? It's same with your sobriety. We need to see that progress. We need to track it. We need to be aware of it. We need to put better habits in place so we can get where we want to go. So habits are always going to beat willpower, and automatic habits are the way you can do that. So also sober identity, right? Your identity, changing at an identity level is so important too. And that's one of the key things I learned about habits as well, as most people chase the result. Most people just quit drinking and they leave that void open for other bad habits or alcohol to come back into their life, right? Because they think they can just quit drinking and then they can have the results afterwards. But it's be do have. I need to become that sober person, has this identity change and has these habits in place. So now I can have the result of living an alcohol-free lifestyle, and I can become that person. So it's kind of a backwards way of doing things for most people. But if you can change an identity level to someone who doesn't drink, right, that's going to be super helpful. I know it was for me, and that's how I've been able to have long-term change when I quit drinking. So one of the habits you could have is a walk instead of drink, right? You could go for a walk, you could exercise, and the system that you put in place is no alcohol in your house. Maybe that's one of the things you need to have: no alcohol around. No, it's not visible, you don't see it, it's not even there, right? And the trigger response, we're going to use that dare method to kind of get through that. So your identity is super, super important to your alcohol free lifestyle. So let's build some sober habit moves right now. Well, you can walk when you're stressed, right? You can have breath work when cravings hit. You can message someone instead of isolating. And comment three of them below to lock them in. Comment on this video wherever you're watching on YouTube, if you're in my Facebook group or you're my personal page. Just comment what kind of habits do you want to put in place that are going to work for you, right? I always talk about having a path that works for you. If it's something that's not going to work, don't use it. But you can use just kind of come up with your own. I got six habits that I've used over the past 7 years. It really helped me. One is journaling, right? Because that kind of gets my thoughts down on paper. One was meditation and mindfulness, right? One was exercise and nutrition. So going for a walk, and meditation was like breath work, right? And then the fourth one is having a meaningful observing project, something that's meaningful to you, that's absorbing, that you can have as a project base, not just a one-off, but like maybe for the next 30, 60, 90 days or whatever, right? And then learning and growing. So learning about learn about alcohol, watching these videos is part of learning, right? Growth. And then the last one is connection, right? Connecting with someone. So like I said, you can walk when you're stressed. You can have breath work when the cravings hit. You can message someone instead of isolating. You can message someone in the group, or you have a friend or someone that's gonna uplift you and understands your sobriety. Those are the things you want to put in place. So what are three habit moves you can put in place to get to where you want to go? That's going to be super important as well. So like always, we're going to use the dare method that we're going to for the 5 p.m. sober playbook. So it's always dare is disrupt, ask, reframe, and execute. If you remember anything from this video, just remember dare, D-A-R-E. So disrupt, ask, reframe, and execute. So let's disrupt those thoughts. Let's disrupt this pattern, right? So what time of day does your willpower bank hit zero? Is it at the end of the day? Some people, your willpower is at the beginning of the day, an afternoon. Like when is it your willpower bank hitting zero? For most people, it's probably at the end of the day, but it could be different times, right? So disrupt that. Ask your question: what time? When is this happening to me, right? And then ask yourself, what habit or power move can I replace willpower at that time? If it's the afternoon and you're going for a drink with your friends at lunch or whatever, what can you put in place so you don't do that? So you don't need to have that drink at lunch, right? Well, what kind of power move or habit can you put in place to change that or disrupt that? And then ask yourself, let's reframe that, right? I don't need willpower. I use systems, right? I don't need willpower to get through this. I use systems, right? You can ask yourself, is this actually really relieving whatever problem I have in my life? Is this relieving my stress? Well, probably not. It's probably making you more stressed out. Is this actually relieving my anxiety? Probably not. It's making you more anxious. So let's reframe those thoughts and then execute on a plan, right? Your top three sober habits in the comments, and let's execute on one of them. Put that plan in place when you have a craving, when your willpower is drained, put that plan in place so you can kind of reboot that willpower a little bit, or maybe even avoid the situation so that you can get to where you want to go, because it's disrupt, ask, reframe, and execute. This whole plan is going to really help you just kind of get where you want to go, because once you disrupt these patterns and you start asking yourself better questions, you start reframing those, and you start executing on, that's where the real change is going to happen. So let's disrupt, ask, reframe, and execute today. And hopefully that's going to help you get to where you want to go. So are you sick of piecing things together? Sick of piece So even my videos, maybe you've been watching one or two random videos and you're kind of piecing this all together, and you're kind of still confused of where you need to go. Well, get a proven plan that's already helped hundreds of people, right? You don't need to try harder. You need identity clarity. You need to get back your confidence. You need back your clarity. You need to get back your control. That's what the Kickstart Coach helps you build. So it's 7-day Kickstart system. You get daily audio lessons. You get Dare identity coaching, and you get 7 short audios and videos just like this. You get 24/7 support with the Kickstart Coach GPT. So it's a chat GPT form of me that you can talk to. It's interactive. It's going to give you the workbooks and the audios and all those great things. So that's super cool. We're always updating that and expanding on the AI version, so that you guys get 24/7 support. You got workbooks, quick workbooks that help you win the day, and you can also get a free copy of my first book, Kickstart Your Comeback, which has got all the things in the audios and everything. It's based on, that's what everything's based on, is the book. So if you want that, you can visit www.soberin6.com, Kickstart Coach, and let's get started. Let me help be your guide to get you to where you want to go with your alcohol-free lifestyle. So thank you so much for taking the time. I know your time is precious. Thank you for letting me be your coach. And thank you so much for being in my Motivation to Quit Alcohol group. If you're already there, or subscribing to my YouTube channel, I really appreciate you guys letting me be in your life and kind of helping you with my experience with being your sober guide and helping you live an alcohol-free lifestyle. So yeah, that's all I have for you today. Life is better on the sober side, my friends. I will see you guys at another live video tomorrow. We're going to be talking about more about willpower and how to beat your alcohol-free, how to beat alcohol without it, and put better plans in place. So have a beautiful day, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video.